welcome back everyone to the SimZone. It's been a while. We've been in our off-season, but we are back for another off-season event here. 1 hour of Hungaroring. Currently about 45 drivers on track? No, 42 drivers on track even. And looking at this qualifying session, we've got 10 minutes left. Driver sitting on pole is in a Porsche. Jean-Sebastien currently on a 144.195. Seems to have some damage on that Porsche, or is that just delivery? Driver in front being given blue flags there, and now it's just delivery there on that Porsche. But currently still on pole. Jaroslav there in P2. Let's see if we can bring up the best laps here in this qualifying session. There we go. And the next driver on for an improvement. Oh, actually, Angelo puts it on provisional pole there, 153.825, the only driver into the 143s even. And we're watching the 999 BMW M4 driver there, coming towards the end of this lap. Currently 4/10 up, that's not going to see him put it on pole. He just needs another 10th or two. Oh, he's lost it all there in that penultimate hairpin. Can he find any more time in this last corner? He's going to exit that final hairpin. They're coming down the start-finish straight. He is 2/10 up. Could this put him into P2? Oh, yes, it does. There we go. Front row there, provisionally, for Jaroslav. And we look further down the field. Lorenzo has just started a lap here. I believe that's turn 4 now he's coming through. Sitting in P7 on a 144.980. And definitely have a lot of BMWs out on track tonight. BMWs M4s, as we know, really like the high downforce tracks. They've got a lot of aero, these cars. But the Porsche's very, very strong at Hungaroring likewise. I think we do have quite a few out on track tonight. Let's have a quick look. Yeah, there are a few Porsches out on track. Currently the highest running Porsche in P4. Chris Pizik there. A returning driver in the pits in P8. But 7 minutes left of this qualifying session. Let's look further down the field. And let's see who's yet to set a lap time. We've got P43 here, Duran, in the Lamborghini, who hasn't set a valid lap just yet. And let's see if this is going to... Actually, no, I don't think this is going to be a valid lap for Duran. We've got someone stopped there on the entrance towards the pits. But Jan Barth in P42, actually I say that, he just crosses the line. Where does he put it? Into P18 there, another Porsche out on track. So that was a 145.865 there for Jan Barth. But still on provisional pole, it's Angelo, who did improve that last lap on a 143.497. So still the only driver in the 43s, but look how close Lynn is. A 144 pretty much flat. And he is on a hot lap. He's got some traffic just up ahead of him. We saw their blue flags just being waved. But I don't think he's going to be impeded as of yet. Oh, a big slide there. Took too much curb on the inside, and that's unsettled the car. But there we go. We've got someone else on pole now. That is Jean once again into the low 143s there, 143.2. Good to see the Porsche on provisional pole. But Lynn currently a 10th up. This could put him into the 143s here. You can see there P4 Rzewski on a 144.1, so it's not a comfortable position here for Lynn. He's going to want to improve his lap time, and he does as he crosses the line, 143.8. And he's going to return the car to the pits. We're currently watching Kaglu in the Ferrari. I think possibly the only Ferrari out on track tonight. And now he's going to return the car to the pits as well. But one thing to mention about Kaglu, he is actually using keyboard and mouse. To put it that high on the grid is very impressive. But a bit of oversteer there from Alexei in the number 16 Audi. We've got Paul Mitchell there in the comments showing support for Jan and Carl. JR, good to see JR once again showing his support for Chris Pizzock, who's currently... He was up there, I hope he hasn't disconnected. Ah, no, there we go, in P9. Just 4 minutes left of this qualifying session. Let's see who's up on their time. Pizzock is actually currently up on his time. Oh, a bit of a slide there from the Porsche driver. But it's probably the best way to drive these Porsches to get the most out of them. You can see they all so close to track limits. He's still within the limits there, and he's still up on his time. 2 tenths, 3 tenths he's found. He's just got 2 more corners to go here. Deedee also showing his support for Pizzock here, and he's found another 10th there, so 4 tenths up. He's got 1 more corner to go and another 10th. It's fluctuating between 0.5 and 0.4. But he's going to cross the line. Where's it going to put him? P9 there for Pizzock. The top 10 so far. And there's still time left in this qualifying session. But DeMarco, another Porsche driver. We're watching all the Porsches today in this qualifying session. 2 tenths up. He has just started a lap. You can see they're coming through Blindsman corner. The Porsche's much better on the front end than pretty much any car on the grid. So I was saying, Chris has been doing 43s in practice. It's just about hooking the lap time up together. I know there is a lot more pressure in qualifying when it comes to race day. But we saw DeMarco there just kicking up a bit of the dirt, the grass on the inside of those S's, but he is up on his time. Where the BMW is just moving out the way there. And what's it going to be? Let's see if we can go on board for the final few corners. And there we go, 3 tenths up, but he wasn't able to gain a position there. Look how close it is between P2 and P3 here. Less than a 10th between those two. But we'll go back trackside. Alexei currently in P6 is 4 tenths up. They're coming towards the chicane now. This chicane really catches out a lot of drivers. See that the Audi having no problems whatsoever. He seems to have some traffic up in front, and yeah, he's had to abort that lap. Obviously the BMW in front not being given the blue flag, so he's obviously on a valid lap as well. But it seems to be that Alexei actually invalidated his lap, so the traffic hasn't affected him. He's going to want to give himself some space here if he's going to set another lap, but no, he's going to abort that. That's pretty much his qualifying session over Soldatov here in P7. 3/10 up. Oh, he's made a huge mistake there through the chicane, and I said earlier that those curbs on the inside really catch drivers out, and that's pretty much his lap over. Will he be able to cross the line in time to set another lap? I think he may be able to there, but no, he's going to bring it back to the pits. We've got the number 18 BMW here, currently 2/10 up, but we are getting towards the end of this qualifying session. Jean Sebastian just crossing the line there. He will have another lap. He has crossed the line in time. And 23 people watching. Make sure to like the stream if you are enjoying this qualifying session so far. But that looks like it's going to be it for the top three. No one else yet to improve. So Jean Sebastian there in P1. Angelo in P2 and David DeMarco in P3. Make sure to stay tuned because we'll be back very, very shortly for the 1 hour of Hungaroring. So here we go then, lining up on the grid for the full formation lap. And look at some of these outstanding liveries from these drivers. Some of these liveries really personal to them. But we've got a very colourful and vibrant livery here. Drivers just getting their setups ready for this 1 hour race. We do have a mandatory pit stop, so drivers will have to refuel. We've got a Nissan there on the track as well on the grid. I believe that is Michael Thomas. So the only Nissan, but looking good so far in terms of position in this qualifying session. Got a few green and black cars here as we just pass through them now. But yeah, 43 drivers on track. We're about to get going in just over a minute here. So yeah, regarding the pit stops, drivers will have to put fuel in, and there is a pit window of 20 minutes. Oh, just the drivers getting up and off, getting up and down off the air jacks there. Well, there we go. That is your grid. here for the 1 hour of Hungaroring. Drivers from lots of different nations, which is good to see. Drivers from all around the world participating in this 1 hour event. But as we saw in qualifying, John putting it on pole position there. And Angelo lining up in the front row with him in P2. Looks like all drivers are ready. They're going to be going in single file here for this formation lap. They're definitely going to be feeling the pressure, the tension as this race builds up. Paul saying, wow, the PC version looks amazing. Yeah, it definitely does. It's night and day compared to console. And we've got our custom UI here as well, so the interface different. This isn't what you'd usually have on ACC, but this has been kindly made by ACC TV. Be sure to check them out if you are looking for broadcasting tools for Assetto Corsa Competizione. And here we go on the formation lap. Track is very warm today here, 34 degrees in fact. Not much cloud in the sky either, and track is optimum. But the only thing I think drivers will have to worry about is, in terms of the car, is tyres here. Going to be wearing down quite fast. Wiz Motorsports in the comments saying custom UI looks brilliant. Yeah, it definitely does. Good to see a change to what you usually see on Assetto Corsa. There's so much you can do here with ACC TV. And while we are on this formation lap, a big thanks to all our patrons. They will be listed in the description. Definitely wouldn't be able to keep these servers running or anything running without our patrons. So massive thanks to them. And if you are interested in supporting us, please check the Patreon link down in the description. Yep, there should be one there. It's the second link down. And we also have eSports setups on our website as well, so make sure to check them out if you are looking for some setups for Assetto Corsa. You can hear here Jean in the Porsche just trying to get some heat into the tyres and brakes before we get ready for this race. And we should be lining up side by side here. Yes, we are. As we approach the final few corners now. Let's hope the drivers can keep it clean into turn one. It's the most difficult part. We've seen it happen even in F1. It's the highest, the pinnacle of motorsport, as we call it. We've seen incidents happen in turn one, but with 50, or almost 50 cars on track tonight, it's not going to be an easy task. But we are currently trackside here, getting ready for the race start. Who's going to get the jump into turn one? Can the Porsches hold on? But we are going to be green in 3, 2, 1. There we go, and we are green. See the Porsche on the inside getting a very good stop. The BMW of Angelo matching that, and they're going to be side by side coming down into turn one. Late in the brakes goes the BMW. Is going to try it around the outside, just squeezing each other, and not much room left for either of the drivers. They're going to have to run off the track there, but they've held their positions. And the BMW looking left and right, trying to go for a move here, but he has to be careful because DeMarco very close behind, trying to find a way past very early on into this race. And we saw there, that is Rozewski up into P4, so making a move already. Soldatov now, side by side, coming through Blindman's Man corner. That's very risky there, but he's got the job done. And up into P5 he goes. I think, oh, we may have had a bit of an incident towards the back of the pack. But that's inevitable here at Hungaroring, especially with this many cars out on track. Let's hope they can keep it together and keep it going. But still looking at Soldatov. We've got a train of cars still, obviously on the opening lap now, so the cars will still be very, very close together. And that is Rozevsky, who's going to have to go defensive. Come down towards this right-hander, and oh, that was the other BMW behind. I won't attempt to pronounce their name, but it's number 18 BMW, who's going to try it round the outside for this final corner. It's not going to be able to be done there, but I think that was Alexei who had a look on the number 18 BMW. He's going to have a better run coming down towards turn 1, but not close enough to get this overtake done just yet. And we'll look back at the race leader here, already opening up a substantial gap. And in fact, let's bring up the gaps now. And there we can see Soldatov still in this battle. We'll keep an eye on him. Let's look further down the field though. There's so many battles going on. Slovak here in the McLaren having to defend from Carl Van Horn. They're going to be side by side. Van Horn's going to have that inside coming up towards Blindsman corner, and is he going to get that job done? Yes, he is. The Aston Martin with no problems over the curb, but the McLaren there almost into the wall. And we've had a bit of a concertina effect there. Jan Barth being caught up in that. Yes, just wasn't ideal to go 2 or 3 wide through that corner. But I think that's George Hall who may have made a few positions as a result of that. Jensen Jones moving down a position there. Sajetti up into P19 in the McLaren just up ahead. Jan Barth now trying to look for a move here on Jones. He's just side by side now. Jan Barth is going to be on the outside. And looks like Jones has defended that corner brilliantly there so far. But Jan Barth to a very late look down the inside. A bit of a dummy there he sold to Jones, and he's going to have that move done up into P20. Very good move there from Barth. We've got Webb in the comments saying, where is Duran? He is down in P40 in the pits at the moment. So may have suffered a collision on the opening few laps here. But Jan Barth now extending that gap to Jones behind. We've got Hall in P22, who's now defending from Richard Wallander here, coming down towards turn 2 or turn 3. On board here with Wallander. I hope I'm pronouncing that right, but still on the tail of George Hall to come up towards the chicane now. We've got yellow flag somewhere out on track. That is Nikitenko, who's had a bit of an incident. Oh, he's had an off there. Not sure if he kept it out of the wall, but he's got going once again, which is good to see. But now that is Jan Barth very close behind him. Michael Thomas. Oh, he's had a collision somewhere, maybe into the wall. He's got some heavy front end damage. I believe he has had a collision with the wall somewhere. But he's going to want to pit as soon as possible. The pit window opens in 14 minutes, so he's still got a long way to go before that pit window opens. But he's in a bit of a sandwich here. He's got that is Van Horn behind him, and the McLaren just up ahead, who is opening up the gap now, and Van Horn down the inside into turn 1. Is he going to get that job done? Thomas later on the brakes. He's going to try and hold it around the outside. No, washes wide, and there we go. That is Van Horn up into P14 now. But can Thomas fight back? Let's see. Definitely with that damage and all, that's the McLaren off. Into the wall there. Some heavy damage on the front end now. And that right-hander down at the bottom of the hill is very difficult. Especially if you don't have your setup perfected. But yeah, you can see that front end damage just causing some understeer on that McLaren. You can see how slow he's having to go through that chicane now. And that bodes well for DeedeeTKU just behind. Who's slowly reeling in the gap, a bit of a twitch there. Jan Barth in P20 also sticking with him, so these two catching up to Yassi in P18. They've already caught up to him. Will Yassi even bother defending? I don't think he will. These two side by side now. Yassi's still on the inside for the next corner, but no, he's going to hold his position here, even with that damage. But for how long can he hold on? He's washed wide through that penultimate corner. And he's going to go for the late apex coming down towards the start-finish straight, and that damage really making him struggle here. That exit coming down the start-finish straight isn't the best, especially with that damage, and DeedeeTKU is going to have a look down the inside. Is he going to be later on the brakes? Yes, he is. And he's got that job done without hassle. Jan Barth wasn't able to follow through. You can see that Pizzin joining in the fun. He's got a bit of damage on the front end of that Porsche. I don't think it's noticeable though. I think some slight damage on the front splitter, but shouldn't really affect him too much. I don't know what it's like in the driver's seat. But currently that last lap from Pizik, 1:45.2, so over a second quicker than Jan Barth. 3 seconds quicker than Jan Barth in P20 that last lap. So Pizik has got the pace to make up these positions once again. Look at that, he's going to have a look down the inside now, how to back out of that. We've got white flags being waved, slow car somewhere out on the track. Let's go on board here with Pizzin. See, they're just getting past the McLaren. No, not yet. He's going to try and follow Jan through. Yes, he is. Jan's having to take a bit of a compromised line there on the inside. But is Chris? No, there's not enough space. Jan shuts the door. The McLaren in front really struggling. Just 10 minutes left before this pit window opens, and Jan there defending the inside line. Is it going for a much later apex? He's going to have a double slipstream here as we come down the start-finish straight. Is the straight going to be long enough for him to get this move into turn one? He's going to try and follow Jan through once again. He's going to make it through. Right? No. Oh, very late on the brakes there for Chris Pizik. Or even quite early on the brakes for Jan Barth there. I don't think Pizik quite expected that. And that's Jan Barth there. He's going to have to wait for the oncoming cars to go through before he can get going once again. But that's unfortunate for Jan there. He can't move until all these cars get past. There we go. Got going once again, but looking at the race leader now. Jean has got a 1.5 second back to Angelo in P2. These two have been neck and neck since the start. DeMarco's still there though, and Soldatov, after starting in P8, is now up into P4. He's running up to the back of this pack. We could see a 4-car battle, even 5-car battle for the lead throughout this race. TFJ in the comments saying, come on Jan, not the best moment I think. Jan had a bit of an incident there, but still he's going to continue. He's now running in P30. see here, sort of within a second of DeMarco now. That last lap, sort of 3/10 quicker. Let's bring up a quick delta comparison between these two. Oh, there's a BMW off there. Who is that? See if we can have a look. Is that Alexi? No, that's a Ferrari. Yeah, not sure who that BMW was there. It wasn't any of the race leaders. Angelo's still out on track in P2, and the two drivers behind, DeMarco and Sordotov, are actually catching up to Angelo here. But let's get a quick comparison between these two in terms of sector times. Here we go then. So as you can see, that last lap, Sordotov, pardon me, 3/10 quicker. What is it going to be this lap? Still Sordotov 3/10 quicker. And he seems to be finding most of that time in that final sector there. And now DeMarco's going to have to do everything he can to hold off Sordotov here, who has a bit of a look up the inside, hasn't really phased DeMarco at all. He's going to continue defending against Sordotov, but these two, if I were them, I'd work together to catch up Angelo just up in front. The gap now between Angelo and DeMarco about a second. Seems to be coming down now. Although it still says a second, yeah, 0.8 now between the two. But the race leader, Jean, is only a second back to Angelo. So all these drivers ever so close. One mistake can set them back a number of positions here. I think we'll go on board with Sordotov, get a good view of this battle just up ahead. We've got blue flags being waved. I think that's for the McLaren just up ahead, who moves off the racing line. They're very well done from that McLaren. I'm not sure who it is. They haven't caused any issues for the lead pack here. Just under 6 minutes before the pit window opens. Are any of these top four going to send it into the pits early, or they're going to try and keep it out on track for as long as possible? I know Sordotov may be thinking about an undercut here, but the problem is traffic. If they pit this early, could they be involved in a lot of back markers or drivers that they are fighting for position? See that the BMW just bouncing over the curbs on the inside, so it's playing a very patient game here, waiting for one of the drivers to make a mistake. The Porsche just up in front of DeMarco, getting the rear end out ever so slightly. That may not play in favour once they do come towards the pit stop. So we've got yellow flags out on track somewhere. Let's have a look. That is Scott Brewer, who I think may have retired the car here. I believe he has. We've got another yellow flag. No, we've got Gazulina, and I believe that is Sterner battling out here. Very, very close, going side by side through Blindsman corner. Still side by side with the Audi with the inside line. Is going to hold on to that position. And looks like Krautz and Hall in P25 and P26 are within a second of each other. Krautz just up ahead, or dropping back slightly now. They've got blue flags here. Zelenov is a car in front. Not sure who that black and green BMW is. Just in between these two. But here we go, Zenilov. Currently in P24. The next car behind is Krautz in the Mercedes. That BMW in front, possibly on a different strategy. Unfortunately, with this UI, we can't see the mandatory pit stops yet, but that will be in a future update. But in fact, I might be able to see. Let's have a quick look. Pit stops, here we go. We can see who's pitted and who hasn't now. But Zelenov still holding his own here in P24. Let's look back further up the field. Where is Jean? He's opened up a 4-second gap to Angelo. So Angelo now having to defend against DeMarco. And oh, that's DeMarco wide, very deep on the brakes there into what I believe is turn 3. And that allows Soldatov up into P3 now. So playing the patient game was Soldatov. And it's definitely worked out for him as he moves up a position just under 2 minutes before this pit window opens. And Soldatov now looking to make a move here on Angelo. But he's got all the time in the world here to try and get this move done. Bit of a mistake, I think, from Soldatov through that chicane. Let's hope he hasn't picked up a track limit warning for that one. But I don't believe we've seen any drive-thrus so far. Let us know in the comments who you are supporting, who you think is going to finish in the top 3. But DeMarco, after his slight mistake, is still hanging on here. That last lap, just a tenth slower than Soldatov, but as they cross the line, sorry, no, that last lap was a bit slower, 7/10 slower due to that mistake. But these three battling has now brought Rzewski even closer. You can see they're just a second off of this pack just up ahead, but that's allowed the race leader, Jean, to open up a 5-second gap, 5.5-second gap even, to these 4 or 5 cars behind. Unfortunately, we don't have the split screen view to see 2 battles at once this time. So we'll have a look further down the field, try and get everyone as much TV time as possible. Kaglu here in the Ferrari has got Nick Trapp just behind him, and Sabas in front as well. And there we go, the pit window is open, so will we see any of the drivers into there? It's Michael Thomas, I believe, the first one to serve his mandatory stop. Now 30 people watching. Make sure to like the stream, like I said earlier. It helps us out massively. But very late on the brakes from the BMW of Nick behind. almost colliding with Carglu, but got the car stopped just in time. Carglu running wide. No, he keeps it on the racing line there. And there we go, 2 drivers in front. That is Sabas into the pits. And he drops down a few positions. But Carglu doing a good job at holding his own here. And Trapp really putting on the pressure, and you can see behind that is Luke Feeken in the McLaren, bright blue McLaren there. He's catching up to these two, so possibly a 3-car battle very, very shortly. Now it seems like Trapp really struggling to get past Carglu here. If I were him, I would hit as soon as possible, because you've even got Luke Feeken now catching up. And Feeken has the option here. He's got a bit of free choice. He can keep it out for a bit longer on track, or he can go for an undercut here. And it'll be interesting if these drivers do change tyres or not. I think they're definitely going to have to, with the track being 33 degrees. But Carglu seems to have responded to the pressure. He's picked up the pace ever so slightly. That last lap of 1:45.9 from Carglu, but Nick Trapp a 1:45.7, so 2/10 quicker. We'll see what it is this time around once they cross the line. But as I say that, we watch someone's going to dive into the pits. No, they still keep it out on track, so we'll see what the lap times are as these two cross the line. So there we go. Carglu are pretty similar lap times actually. Nick was 200ths quicker that last time round. They've got a McLaren now in the way. I believe that's blue flags being waved for the McLaren. So there we go, moves out the way perfectly. And that's Carglu now having to go very defensive coming up towards turn 3. He's managed to hold off Nick there, but let's look at the battle for the top 3 now, or the P2 and P3. Still very, very close between these guys. Really not much separating them. Soldatov playing the patient game once again. And DeMarco, after his mistake, has been able to stick with this pack. He hasn't made any further mistakes. Rzewski in the background there has caught up. Any of these drivers go to the pits? No, they're keeping it out on track for now. So they've got 15 minutes left of this pit window. Plenty of time to decide on what strategy they want to go for. But that slipstream working wonders there for Soldatov. He had a bit of a look down the inside. Has it put some pressure on Angelo? He's going to have to go very defensive. But can DeMarco follow Angelo through here? Soldatov's left the inside open, but he's going to have the inside for the next corner. And he's slotted back in there to the racing line. He's held his position. But very, very risky. Look how close the Porsche is. Just behind DeMarco. He's looking left and right to try and get this move done. The amount of pressure he's put on to Soldatov and Angelo is unbelievable. Rzewski dropping back slightly, surprisingly. Oh, that may just be the Delta's not updating. They update every sector. These ones update a bit more frequently, but we've got yard flags out on track now somewhere. I believe that may be Krautz who's had a bit of an incident. We are green once again. But DeMarco made a bit of a mistake through that chicane. He's caught up once again to these two under the brakes. Where is Rzewski? He's very, very close now to DeMarco. So go trackside once again. None of these drivers opting to pit. It's a 4-car battle between P2 and P5. Now can DeMarco use the slipstream to his advantage? We've got flash of lights there from Angelo from one of the cars just up in front. DeMarco's going to have a look up the inside there. Sodatov leaving him just enough room, and he's going to have to run wide there. But can Sodatov hold on? I think he may be able to. DeMarco not able to get that move done then. And oh, bit of contact between the two. And DeMarco's just opened up that door for Rzewski on the inside. But no, Rzewski not able to capitalise on that. And DeMarco, flash of the lights there. Don't think Sodatov did anything wrong. But yeah, wasn't able to get that move done. And now Angelo and Sodatov have got a bit of breathing room. They can leave the battle to themselves for a few corners here. But as we see in that final sector, as we saw last lap even, DeMarco and the Porsche just so much better on the brakes. And is able to close up that gap within a matter of 1 or 2 corners. Sagetti and Wallander into the pits. Jones also into the pits now for his mandatory stop. But yeah, TFJ saying crazy fighting for P2, P3 and P4. Now even P5 here. Yeah, brilliant battle. They've been going at it since the start of the race. And Jean, taking advantage of that, has opened up almost a 10-second gap. And that is Sodatov now into the pits. And that could work wonders for him if Angelo and DeMarco do continue to battle out on track. He could go for, pardon me, for an undercut here. But the battle between P8 and P9, Carglass and Nick Trapp still going on here. Although not as close as I expected them to be, and we've got a few cars in the back of them. That's Luke Viken there, just navigating his way past some traffic. Still hasn't caught up to these two actually, so pretty much matching their pace. Let's see the lap time comparison there. We can see last lap from Nick was a 1:45.687, and Luke Viken there was a 1:45.657. So just exactly 300s between the two. Viken ever so slightly quicker, but not really making any gains as of yet to these two up in front. Now the field further down, slightly more spread out. It's just due to the pit stops. We usually have a lot more battles once the pit window is closed. So some exciting racing up ahead. We've got a battle for P5 and P6, which we'll quickly switch to now. That's Lynn on the back of the other BMW. Both these drivers running the same livery, so possibly teammates elsewhere. But that's the number 18 BMW into the pits. Look at that, the top 4 that were in a battle pitting at the same time. This is going to be interesting. Who's going to come out on top? DeMarco also into the pits. Interesting that they've all pitted at the same time. But we'll definitely see who comes out on top. Where is Sodatov at the moment? Currently in P12, coming up towards the penultimate corner now. There we go, now through the final corner. And where is Angelo even? DeMarco's got the jump there on Angelo. but where is Soldatov? Has he got the job done? It's going to be so close. Coming down towards turn 1. Yes, he has. He jumped them all. Has Soldatov. The undercut working in his favour. So now it's Soldatov, then DeMarco, Angelo, and then Rzewski still at the back of this pack. But what an amazing strategy call there from Soldatov. He must have timed that pit stop to perfection as well. There's absolutely nothing separating these four drivers. But the race leader now, Jean, into the pits. But Jean should, barring any mistakes, come out well ahead of this pack that we're watching at the moment. Soldatov has now been able to open up a nice gap, about a second to DeMarco now. He's got Angelo very, very close behind. And we've got another battle between Sterner and DeedeeTKU down in P20. Let's quickly bring this battle up. DeedeeTKU in the McLaren behind seems to have repaired his damage that he had earlier on in the race. And it should help him late race here, but can he get this move done on Sterner, who we're currently watching? Looks at these two. I was going to say even on pace, but DeedeeTKU that last lap 2/10 quicker. A bit of a mistake there from Sterner on the exit of that chicane, but DeedeeTKU not able to capitalise on that. They do have a few cars up ahead of them who aren't in this battle. I believe they might even be a lap ahead or even a lap down. I don't actually see any blue flags, so there could be a lap ahead here. But no, sorry, that is Jones actually in this battle, but the Porsche up ahead. Oh, I think there's been a bit of contact there. Jones just losing out. It's a very, very light tap, if I'm not mistaken, but Jones losing 2 positions as a result. I don't think Sterner quite expected that. Maybe the curb, the BMW going over the curb there, kicking in the TC. But now DeedeeTKU is going to have a look down the inside, coming down towards turn 1. He's going to have to be later on the brakes. He seemed quite even there on the brakes. And can Sterner go for a switchback? No, he overslowed the car a bit too much. And that is, I think we can catch it on the replay. Might not be able to actually. Alright, we just did. Yeah, Sterner very slow there on the inside of the corner. Just wasn't able to get that switchback. So DeedeeTKU up into P19. Jones, what's happened to him there? He's had another spin, has Jones. Maybe something to do with the car. He's going to have to get it going once again there. There we go. It's back on track. Those tyres are going to be very hot. Those rear tyres especially. Gazulina and Slovak into the pits. Rzewski, another Rzewski actually, not the same one we were speaking of earlier, into the pits, but let's go back. Provisional race leader is Carl Van Horn, who's yet to serve his mandatory pit stop. Likewise, Chris Pizuk. Jean in net race lead. Has actually lost about a couple seconds to Soldatov in P4. He's now in clean air, hasn't had anyone to defend against. Angelo up into P5 now after that battle. DeMarco may have made a mistake somewhere, didn't quite catch that. But yeah, these four that were in the battle have separated slightly now, with Rosevsky about, what's that, 5 seconds back to DeMarco now. So he's definitely made a mistake somewhere. Pizik into the pits for his mandatory stop. Now, after his pit stop Gasolina in P17, Slavic, I believe both these two have pitted. Let's just double check. Yes, they have, so they've both pitted. So it is battling out on track now for these two drivers. Gasolina in the Audi, Slavic in the Mercedes, the McLaren. And let's see if we can ride on board here with the Audi. He's going to have the slipstream coming down and towards turn 1. The McLaren's going to have to go defensive here. Slavic, as you can see, moving to the inside very, very early. He's going to leave the outside open for Gasolina, who's going to have to be later in the brakes if he wants to get this move done. And he is, but washes out wide. He's going to have to go off track there. And he's going to have the inside for the next corner. Is he going to get this move done? I think he has secured that position, but still going to be side by side. The McLaren very, very late on the brakes. There we go, Gasolina with a great move there, and that puts him up into P15. The question is now, does Slavic have anything left in the tank to try and get that position back? At the moment it doesn't seem like he can reply back. But Carl Van Horn into the pits as well. Let's see where Pizik is, P14. So ahead of these two drivers, it says 25 seconds ahead. So doesn't really have to worry about anyone behind him, but he's got Suggetti in front of him. So let's quickly flick over to these two. Yes, he does. So I believe they are battling for position as well. So Pizik obviously starting P9. Had a bit of a collision at the start, dropped all the way down to P30 something, I believe. But he's back up into P14, looking to get P13 here. That's Carl Van Horn and Pizik side by side. Van Horn just exiting the pits there. But Chris Pizik's going to have the inside for the next corner. And Carl Van Horn, is he going to have a late look down the inside? No, Pizik defending that inside line. Carl Van Horn not able to make anything of it. But Van Horn's going to be on fresher tyres here. I believe he has changed his tyres. But the question is, can he keep up with the pace of Pizik? At the moment it's not looking likely. Pizik already opening up a few tenths there to Van Horn. Almost a second gap between these two. We'll look down towards Rottenberg, who is in a bit of a sandwich here. He's got Davenport just up ahead of him, and Jan Barth behind. These drivers are battling for position here. And oh, a mistake there from Rottenberg. What's happened to him? A huge mistake there, and he's had to let the cars behind through as well. Yeah, really not sure what's happened there. Maybe some issues with equipment or a mistake through that chicane. Even a distraction in the real world that could have caused that. He's had to let one of the McLarens through as well. I believe that would have been blue flags. But back to the battle for P13 with Pizik, who's looking to make a move here into turn 1 on Suggetti. Suggetti's left that inside open for Pizik, but he's going to try and hold it around the outside here, and he's done so. So Pizik not able to get that move done into turn 1. The Porsche, as we know, not the quickest in the straight line, but is actually getting a bit of a buff in the next update in terms of straight line speed. We approach the final 19 minutes left of this race. Pizek, I don't think, repaired his damage in the pit stop, so he saved some time there, or maybe a bit of a mistake there from the McLaren. Pizek's going to have a look down the inside. They're going to be side by side going through the chicane, and Pizek having to cut over the curb a bit too much, but has it paid off in his favour. He's going to have that move done. Pizek up into P12. Van Horn not able to capitalise on that mistake from both of those drivers, but he's still very close behind in this battle. As we can see, we're pushing the final corner now. That's one of the Audis a lap down there. You can see the marshals just waving blue flags, and no disruption there from the back markers. Pizek already putting a gap to these two drivers behind. Flash of the lights there from Sajetti, not exactly sure why. Maybe just a hello flash there from Sajetti, but we look to the battle for P3, Angelo and Soldatov. So Soldatov's made a mistake somewhere. Angelo has caught up massively. And now this battle continues. You can see there DeMarco in P4 with these two BMWs just up ahead battling. We could see these cars in once again another 3-4 car battle, although Rzewski in P5 is a bit far back. And he does have Lynn 4.4 seconds behind him. But DeMarco now is going to try and push as much as he can to catch up these two BMWs just up ahead. The gap is dropping 1.5 seconds now to that last lap. DeMarco in the 44s, Soldatov and Angelo in the 45s, but that was Angelo tried to look for a move there on Soldatov. Didn't pay off, but he's putting on the pressure that he needs to be doing. But yeah, Angelo's still within a second of Soldatov. Look at that, DeMarco's already on the back of these two. Let's go on board with him very, very quickly. And these final few hairpins that we're about to approach is where the Porsche gains the most time, I think, on these two BMWs in front. It can just brake so much later. Just get the car turned in much quicker than these two BMWs in front. It's just got more front end, the Porsche does. Just the characteristics of the Porsche. And I don't even think it will struggle in terms of straight line speed compared to these BMWs. The gear ratios in those BMWs very, very long. You barely ever use 6th gear. And he is clawing in Angelo and Soldatov. The gap possibly just under a second now. Just over, in fact. But these two in front battling very, very hard. It's going to be a 3-car battle. Rzewski in P5 still 7 seconds back to DeMarco. Van Horn and Sajetti will quickly switch that battle down in P14 coming down the start-finish straight. Sergetti keeping the car in the middle of the track, moving back over to the racing line. Carl Van Horn in the Aston doesn't seem to have the legs on the straight, but he's stuck with him, and Pizik, with over a 5-second gap now to these two cars, who he was once behind. A bit of a slide there for Carl Van Horn in the Aston, but he's got just under 14 minutes left to make this move. Plenty of time to get this move done. Both of those drivers bouncing over the curb. Aston taking it much better than the McLaren. But as you come up towards the chicane now, you can see there how much time the Aston of Carl Van Horn gains, but he just has nowhere to go. Hungaroring such a narrow track, and we've got one of the cars into the pits for some reason, possibly due to some damage, or maybe even fuel, we don't know. It's one of the Audis there. TFJ saying common car. And oh, a big slide there, a bit late on the brakes I think, in fact, for Carl Van Horn through that penultimate corner, and he's lost all that time that he had on Sergetti, but I'm sure he can get that time back. But those mistakes don't bode well here for Carl Van Horn. Might be pushing the car just a bit too much. And they do have a BMW just up in front of them. Blue flags being waved. I'm not sure if that is Jones. Seems to have some damage on the front. Yes, it is. But he's going to do a great job of letting the lead cars past. Zelenov and Curtin seem to be battling it out for P26 and P27. Sorry, just a second separating these two. We'll keep an eye on these two. As one of the BMWs, Hulsey, I'm sure I'm butchering some of these surnames, ever so sorry, but he is into the pits. Possibly some damage. TFJ saying Tom got a drive-through a few laps ago. Started in P25, so he's only lost one position this race. See the position deltas up on the screen now as well. We'll go back to Soldatov, who's made a bit of a mistake there. That gap that he had to Angelo behind has significantly shrunk there. Angelo's going to make some gains after that mistake, but DeMarco very, very close behind. Rosevsky loses some time to these three cars now, just up in front. Well, I say just up in front, he's 8.5 seconds back now. So I don't think he's going to be in this battle towards the end of the race. Look how much DeMarco can catch up on the entry into some of these hairpins. But now Soldatov with a bit of breathing room is going to pull away slightly. DeMarco's going to try and get a move done on Angelo. And Angelo's now going to be looking in the rearview mirror here. DeMarco still putting a lot of pressure here on Angelo. Definitely wouldn't want to be Angelo at the moment. He's got two cars to think about. He's got Soldatov just up in front, and he's got DeMarco. Look at that, so close behind, almost glued to the rear bumper of Angelo. But Carl Van Horn and Sagetti still in this battle for P13. I think we'll have to go on board here with Carl Van Horn. Is he going to try that inside? Oh, he had to lift off there. But once again, Sagetti doing a good job of defending. Just leaves that inside open. He knows he's got more apex speed or corner speed. And a bit of a collision there between Carl and Sagetti. I think Carl's going to lift off the throttle to allow Sagetti to keep that position. Very good sportsmanship there from Carl. And just a bit of oversteer on the exit. Sure, that damage that they've just incurred isn't helping. But yeah, Sagetti knows that he can keep higher corner speeds into turn 1 just by leaving that inside open. But Sagetti now not able to take any of the curbs. You can see that gap closed down just in one corner. I think Sagetti may be struggling with some connection here. Might be why there was a bit of contact between these two drivers. But we'll go back to the battle for P3. DeMarco's still not able to get this move done. Time is running out. Down to 7 minutes, 30 seconds left of this race. Luke Viken on the back of Pizik now. Now that's quite interesting. Let's see these two. Viken, that last lap, 0.3 quicker than Pizik. Seems to have the pace in the final few stages here. Pace advantage even. Pizik not able to pull away. Possibly could be due to that damage on the front end of that Porsche of his. Pizik's best lap though is 0.2 quicker than Viken's, so yeah, I assume it is due to that damage, and Viken is going to look to get a move done in the final few stages of this race, but time is running out. Pizik's going to want this race to end as soon as possible. Yeah, like I said, we've got so many battles going on towards the end of this race. Looks like DeMarco is lost a bit of time to Angelo, P3 and P4, but we've still got Carl Van Horn and Sagetti battling it out. And very late on the brakes once again from Carl Van Horn, and a bit of a collision there. I think Carl's struggling on the brakes, and Sagetti not happy with that at all. I'm not sure if Carl's going to return that position. Obviously you don't have to, it's not mandatory to return position, but there we go, he does so. Very sportsmanlike there from Carl, and we've got Gasolina into the pits now. Not sure what's happened there. It doesn't seem to have any damage. I think it must be fuel, or even a drive-through penalty, I'm not too sure. But that's a shame there from Gasolina. He's going to drop a number of positions now as we go back to P2. Soldatov has got a 1.5 second gap now to Angelo in P2, and these two very, very close. DeMarco's still not able to get this move done. He's going to have to try something here. He may have to take a few risks if he wants to get this move done. And oh, he's made a huge mistake, has DeMarco. I think too much throttle on the exit, almost into the barriers, but he managed to save it there. But all that hard work undone, he's going to have to make that gap up. He's going to have to close that gap once again. Revelice in the comments showing his support for Kaglu, who's currently in P8, who's still batting with Nick. Nick actually getting ahead of Kaglu here, who's having to defend now into turn 1. But let's see if Kaglu can get his position back. Let's go on board with the Ferrari driver. I believe the only Ferrari out on track here. See there much, or I don't know if it's a better exit or it's just a slipstream. But Trap defending the inside, they're back over to the racing line. Now coming to this long sweeping right-hander here. I think a bit of a mistake there from Trap, but Kaglu obviously not able to get a nose down the inside. It's so narrow, this part, this section of Hungaroring. As we approach the final sector, just 3 minutes left of this race. Can Kaglu do anything here? Just trying to have a look up the inside, maybe to phase Nick, but don't think it's done anything just yet. He's going to have to try and send it down the inside here. No, not enough space to do so. Nick closes the door there, so Kaglu's going to go for a later apex. Try and get that run down to turn 1. And turn 1 probably the best overtaking spot here at Hungaroring. But he just doesn't seem close enough at the moment. Has a look up the inside, but no. Backs out of that move. But has it forced Nick wide? Yes, it has. It's forced him later on the brakes. Can Kaglu try and go around the outside? It's not usually something you see. Nick's slightly ahead, and I think Kaglu's just going to have to slot back in here. Oh no, yes he does. Good attempt there from Kaglu, but Nick just managing to hold on. They've got the Audi behind them. That is, I believe that was Gasolina, who's a lap down. Here, let's go to... Well, I want to go to the race leader, but we're going to continue watching this battle. Just for now, let's see his last 2 corners. Nick really having to take that defensive line on pretty much every corner here. He's going to have to take that tight line through the final corner as well. He can't leave any space here for Kaglu. We're going to come down the start, finish straight. Kaglu running slightly wide, no. Using all the runoff that he's allowed to use. But is he going to try the same thing here? He's going to have a look up the inside. And oh, they've got a car on the inside there. BMW is just exiting the pits. That hasn't helped in Kaglu's favour. So I don't think he's going to get that move. But where is the race leader, Jean? I'm not sure if this is the last lap. It could well be if Jean wants to make it. Got 10 seconds. I think this might be the last lap here. So Jean coming through the penultimate corner. And now up towards the final corner. What a dominant victory there from Jean. Had a bit of a tussle in the first stint, I'd say. But he's led that race from start to finish without any issues. I know, there we go, P1 for Jean. Solotov's going to round off the final corner, holds off Angelo, and he's going to finish in P2. Angelo is going to finish in P3, just about holding off DeMarco there in P4. Brzezewski is going to finish in P5. Where is Lynn? Rounding off the final corner now, he's going to finish in P6. Nick Trapp is Is he going to be able to hold on here? They've only got a few more corners left to go. Is Cargley going to try something risky? Look at that. He's right on the rear bump. He's going to try around the outside. Don't think he's going to have that. The marbles on the outside just washing him wide. So Nick should have P7 here. There we go. Rounds off the final corner. He's going to hold on to P7. What a battle between these two we saw in the second stint of this race. And Nick there is going to finish in P7. Cargley is going to finish in P8. Sakifa is going to finish in P9. And Alexei in P10. That's your top 10 then of this race. It looks like Vika now to get into the pits there. Possibly fuel for him. So miscalculating fuel for Viken, I believe. Yeah, he's going to finish the race in the pits. But there we go. That is your race over. Thanks for everyone for watching. And we shall see you next time for some more off-season events. I believe we've got the Porsche Cup very soon. But yeah, we'll see you for Ferrari Fest in 2 days' time. That's on console. And then the Porsche Cup event as well in about a week's time. So thank you for watching and good night.